Let's entertain heaven. Sorry, the Wilting Angel, or the Wilting Flower is a really lovely piece, and sometimes it's a little hard to stop listening to it or to bring myself to interrupt it. Anyways, good evening, everyone. There's a bit of a change of schedule, which you may have noticed from A, the fact that I'm here, B, the Twitter, and, my ears, and, C, the title, in fact, that, obviously we're not playing Ace Attorney tonight, and also thank you for the subscription, and many pets for my moo. I hope you can get some good rest done. Love you, Manly. Both Lily and Gray are kind of a drain of energy in their own ways tonight, so it's kind of just me on my lonesome, leastwise because Lucius decided to just kind of take off. Not like I pay him. Why did that play twice? What? What? It just randomly played the sound effect for that subscription like 10 to 15 seconds after the fact. Okay. But yeah, thank you. 20 months, nearly 2 years. Anyways, obviously I have quite a backlog of games of various lengths, so sometimes you really have to figure out exactly what you're doing. Whether you're going to start something new, or if you're going to find something super short, or just, well, I prefer not to quit while we're trying to get things in order. And while obviously this isn't on the schedule, we still have a stream schedule tonight, so the show must go on. So, rather than Trials and Tribulations, Lucius and Lily and Lapine, whatever fancy word with an L you might want to call a cute rabbit, I'm going to be playing a medley of horror games. 3 horror games, one of which is technically a trilogy, so 5. But hey. We're going to be playing The Terrible Old Man, which is based on a H.P. Lovecraft short story of the same name, and like a short story, should probably be rather short. It Moves, which is something that's been around for a couple of years before eventually coming out proper and being released on Steam. Markiplier briefly played a demo at some point in the past. It's based on a story that ended up on the No Sleep podcast, Bedtime, which is part of a collection of stories. I don't remember the author's name, but you should be able to find it on the No Sleep podcast, and I also put it on the YouTube description. And then finally, there's the Deep Sleep trilogy from Scriptwelder. Scriptwelder's been around for a long, long while. Newgrounds, Armor Games, kinda sorta congregate. A bunch of pixelated games, not all of them horror, but a lot of them horror. The Deep Sleep trilogy is, well, it's a point-and-click adventure game. I'll leave it at that, and we'll get there when we get there. I'll save that for last. But we'll be starting with The Terrible Old Man. There aren't really any other announcements at the moment. Okay, hopefully your grind goes well and then your sleep goes well. No other real announcements. As far as I know, Fallout Friday should continue as normal unless anything happens. And I should be playing some more Fallout 3, even if these two aren't around as well. And then obviously I'll put out a schedule for next week. From there, I do think Gray will be MIA between the 26th to 3rd or some such. But we'll get that figured out and we'll let everyone know on Twitter, just to double check when we get there. But without further ado, let's get started. Just drink some water, blow my nose, and let the song finish real quick. One hand, what an arm. On the other hand, what an asshole. So, Angelo, when are we gonna blow this joint? Say we head out tomorrow. It's a few hours drive to Boston. How long are we staying there for? I'd say just a night. We gotta keep moving. Then we head back to Arkham. That's right. Been talking to a guy up there who might be able to get some action, you know? Say, speaking of action, that dame over there. She's got something going on, don't she? Incredible. Chinek? Zanik? I'm not going to hazard how to pronounce that, so I will go with Chinek for now. Why don't you get your pasty ass over there and give her your best line? Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Yeah, get some beers while you're at it. Still got some cash from the old broad the other night. Yeah, I got a few bucks left. I don't have a dime. Now the woman's so old she couldn't even get out of the house to spend her godforsaken dollars. Better old Manuel here stands out hooshed and lets sit there gathering dust for another 2 years before she bites it. Damn right. I'm unsure how I feel about these slow transitions for the facial expressions. It's causing me to distract myself just enough to lose the differences between their voices. Well then, get some beer, boy. Click to interact. Right-click to observe. For inventory and settings, move cursor to the top of the screen. We have a car key and some cash. A couple of bucks left. It's key to our fine automobile. Manuel Silva. Man's built like a damn brick wall. Useful man to have around, intimidation is his game. Angelo Ricky. Calls the shots in our little gang. Man's the size of a cockroach, but he's got a temper. Picture as a captain. A local Kingsport fisherman. Some news clippings about an incident at a local port. They're from a paper called the Kingsport Bugle. That's one mighty fine looking broad. If he's doing this bit of town, I do not know. It's not interesting here, just dusty pictures of local goons. Some old postal correspondent frames. Trying to decorate this dump with some old prints. Some fast looking cards. Plus the suit that's died by one bit. Guy looks like my cousin Peter. My cousin Peter, he ain't. Some local goon. I guess this might be the owner of this here establishment. It's been giving us the look over since we walked in the door. They got a decent selection there. Some good hooch. 3 beers over here. Where are you guys from? Boston? Innsmouth? My man, you look like you were from Innsmouth. Not your goddamn business. Just give me some beers. Well, he was trying to be nice despite giving you the side-eye, apparently. Hey, it's my bar. What's your manners, stranger? Folk here are nice to each other in Kingsport. They look after each other. Hey, bears. Please. That'll be $2, my foreign friend. Unfortunately, we appear to have exactly $2. $2 right here. 3 beers coming up. Gosh darn, the barrel's dry. Have to go roll up a new one. Sit tight. Dickie eating his dinner yet? Swear we set a whole chocolate cake in front of his face, didn't so much as blink. Boy's been affected. Take him to Doc Reeves. Get to the bottom of it. It's acting strange. This is running with that old fella the other night. Trying to let the boy out so late. But what happened? You know that very old man, former sea captain of some sort. See him around town. Pays for his groceries in golden doubloons. I've heard about him, yeah. People in ancient. He talks the bottles he has lined up on a table inside his house. Calls them names like Spanish Joe and Bait Ellis. As if he's speaking to his old crew. Yeah, most peculiar chap. That's what I think. I need to upset such folk. So you need to teach Dickie. Get respect. So what happened to Dickie through a stone as a window, you see? The old man calming the act. Good talking to, I bet. Think we'll talk about what exactly happened. Oh dear. Stupid boy. You go around throwing stones through old folks' windows and they ain't gotta be happy. No matter how feeble they are. Told him he's not leaving the house for a month, apart from going to his lessons. It's be quite a scary sight for a young lad to face. Fancy that, using gold coins for currency. That must be sitting on a fortune. Tell me about. 30 captain clipper ships in the east, uncountable years back. Brought back untold treasure. Sorry, by the way, here's your beers. 3 for 2, that's quite a few. Here's their achievements. Thanks. Boys, you're not gonna believe it. You got to deal with that broad. He wishes. Think we got ourselves a job tonight. Well, spit out then. I had those two chaps speaking about a crazy old man who lives in town. So where she pays for things with gold doubloons. Tech. Gold doubloons? Yeah, he's got a room in his house where he stands there talking to bottles. Rich and senile old fuck. This sounds like a cinch. Let's get in there tonight and see he's got an on-off. Oh boy, this should be fun. Where's the old man's house then? I don't know. They didn't say. Find out, Janek. Find out we may find riches tonight. Say there, miss. Can I have a word with you? Leave me alone, Greaseball. Hey, no need for that kind of language, lady. Merely trying to conversate. Go conversate elsewhere. Maybe to your mother. Stirk out again, Janek. Say it yourself. I mean, at least he's polite enough to walk away. That's up. I don't want to look outside. Say, fellas, what's that you guys are saying about old man around these parts? What's it you, stranger? I just overheard your story. Sounds like a character. Indeed he is. Shelves about with his cane, dropping gold all over the show. He said something about bottles. Sometimes people see him through his window with a lineup of curious bottles sitting on a table. Each bottle has some sort of object inside. Pendulum, some say. Seen chatting, waving his arms about. Where the old chap's lost his mind. Too much time at sea. It was a sea captain. Go back at time nobody remembers. Remember as he spent decades in the Far East. Some say he talks of bottles as if they were his crew members. What else do you know about him? You ask a lot of questions, stranger. Just leave us be. You guys from Kingsport? Born and bred? Me too. Where are you from? Suburb of Boston. City boy? The cosmopolitan type. Yeah, you could say that. So where does the old man live? His house is along the coast. Crumbling ancient pile it is too. Well, the oldest house is in Kingsport, I'd venture. What's the address? Now you're thinking of visiting him, are you? What on earth what do you want to see him for? A treasure hunter, are you? Well, we're gonna find it either way. Yeah. Yeah, you bum. Don't want no stinking thieves stinking up our town. Yeah, get over here before I get the town guard. Oh, no, I mean, well, yes, I appreciate treasures like every other man out there. No intention of robbing the old goat. Well, then why do you want to know his address? Why should we trust you outsiders? Well, I mean, for one, he didn't keep harassing the woman. He paid for his beer. He tried to be polite to the guy. And also, while they do plan on trying to rob the old man, at least they're upfront about the fact that they're looking for treasure. There are worse gangsters. It's kind of hilarious. From the IRS. Yeah, we wish to interview him for the local paper. Yes, what's the name of the local paper, then? You know, despite the fact that we already said that we're not from here. Unfortunately, we already checked. The Kingsport Bugle. That old rag has been printed for years. Nice lies and more lies. Well, that's not my fault. Worth a shot. Hello again. I suppose you still want his address. How do we know we can trust you, outsider? We're traveling salesmen. Ah, yes. What are you selling? Shoes. Can I look at them? I need the new shoes. Sure thing. I'm wearing them right here. They're brand new stock. A better way to advertise. Got boxes of them out in the car. Yeah, those shoes look very worn. Go full of it, stranger. Nice, nice, nice. We're from the tax department. He owes us money. Then surely you would have his address on file? Yeah, that's a fair point. Two Palookas having ideas? Alright, dreaming to spend gold doubloons, Janek. Why you got by, Manuel? A dog. One real fancy ones. Gotta name him Jackson. Achievement. We all have our dreams. Got the address yet? I'm working out. Gotta kick our asses out the door and start helping myself as much as I'd like to. You know anything about a rich old man who lives in town? Oh, you're back again. Don Juan doesn't stop trying tonight, does he? But there persists the man. I don't know the old man. You're lying. Everybody must know him. Leave me alone. Fine. Yeah. There's long-lost relatives. You expect us to believe that? You're clearly not of Kingsport stock. Well, that's just rude. Found something that belongs to them and wish to return it. What's the item? An old ornament. Let's have a look then. It's on the car. Bull dust. Get out of here. Well, I guess that literally just leaves this. The Kingsport commune? I mean, despite being a pathological liar, you continue to let me ask you questions. The times. We don't even have anything left. Oh, sure, now I can talk to him. Why keep telling me about those two guys in the bar? They were right here. Mind your own business, stranger. What? He said. What can you tell me about that broad over there? She's in there working all the time. Doesn't look like she's up to much. What's her line of work? Why don't you ask her yourself? You know about that rich old man who lives in town? Can't say I do. You must. I don't gossip about locals, sir. This is a respectable town. Later. Let me know when you want those drinks refilled. Well, that's a very polite barkeep, at least. Not you again. I'm busy. Yeah, what are you working on? Apart from looking pretty. Well, I might not look busy, but my job requires a lot of thinking. Yeah. What's your vocation? I'm a journalist. Oh, a big shot. Why am I talking to you? Say, you write for the paper? Yes, the Kingsport Daily Star. Interesting. Don't get lost before I write an article about outsiders pestering local women in bars. Okay, put your knickers back on, lady. Hello again. I got mixed up before. We're from the Kingsport Daily Star. Nonsense. It's the truth. We're journalists from Boston. We do freelance work. Sounds like the old man couldn't give us a great story. Imagine the tales he must have. Tales of exploration, treasure, and chivalry. You know what? Go ahead. I really believe you, but this is getting annoying now. The old man lives up on Water Street. His property backs onto Ship Street near the shore. Water Street and Ship Street. That's the best you folks at Kingsport could come up with? Yeah, okay. That's some are curious foreign standing stones. An unmistakable sign. Thanks. I appreciate it. Fellas, I got the address. Good job, Shanny boy. Where is it? Back entrance is on Ship Street by the harbor. Hey, we passed that street on the way here. Just a few blocks away. Let's go, boys. There's a treasure to be had. What about the beer? Alright, we're here. What's the plan, boss? Silver, you and I'll go in through this here gate. Janek, you stay and watch. Okay. Before we do anything though, looks like there's a light on up there. Janek, can you have a better look? Gotta make sure he ain't watching us. Too far away. I ain't climbing up there. Time to go yet. Ain't time to leave. Yeah, we could try climbing over or use that street pole, but the gate seems to be a more conventional choice. Stones are on the other side of this wall. Ain't going in there. What do you think of this place? Well, the house looks like it's seen better days. Hey, let's Gavin, get to work, Janek. Where do you think those sandstones are from? It's me. Give me the creeps. Later. Yeah. What do you want me to do? Can you get a closer look at that window? Need to double check what we're dealing with. Old man might have a shotgun fixed on us right now for all we know. Not messing with the gate until we're set to go. Old man's house looks decent. No of houses like that where I come from, that's for sure. It smells in there. It's the old round sacks or some such. An old looking gate. I got a spyglass someplace. Didn't pay a dime for this classy ride. It won't conjure back up in Arkham. It's probably still cursing us for swiping it. Street light is lining us up the whole goddamn world. Should move quickly tonight. Okay, where, pray tell, is your spyglass? Got a bunch of weird sandstones in his garden. It's not like anything I've ever seen. Maybe they're from overseas someplace. Ah, there we go, the trunk. Got a leather box strapped on back of the ride. It's got padlock and everything. That doesn't fit. This key's just for the ignition. Trunk is locked by a solitaire padlock. Say, Ricky, you don't have the key for the trunk on you, do you? Oh, I don't. Don't tell me you lost a goddamn key at your neck. Oh, no. Do you have the key for the trunk? No, balls, I do. There you go. Thanks. I definitely saw movement up there. Okay. Good robber always comes prepared. Got spyglass, crowbars, and masks. Oh yeah, definitely move it. He's in there. Silly old fool, looks like the easiest stagger we ever had. It worked your neck. Really, it's stocking up a bunch of old bottles. As long as we're quiet out here, she'll notice us. It's engrossed in its weird little suits. Pathetic. You got a mask then? Here's the masks. Okay, get the gate open. That was a sound effect. We're in. Good work, Janek. Okay, Silva, let's go in. Oh, we gotta play it, boss. We'll see, Doug might not be too loquacious concerning his treasures. We may need to make him talk. Ask if the gold is even hidden. And if he is as senile as we suspect, he may have stacks of it piled up all around. Don't go too hard on the old goat. We'll do what we need to. The screams of an old man can be easily muffled. Silver, you hit the nail on the head. Janek, wait for us in the car. We should be back in an hour at the most. Sounds like a plan, Ricky. Remember, be gentle. One hour later. What the hell is taking them so long? What's happened? I better not have knocked the old fella off. I told him, I said don't go too hard on the old goat. Here they come.
Little things make considerable excitement in little towns, which is the reason that Kingsport people talked all that spring and summer about the 3 unidentifiable bodies, horribly slashed as with many cutlasses, and horribly mangled as by the tread of many cruel boot heels, which the tide washed in.
Alright. I can't speak as to whether or not the quality of the artwork was intentional. Overall, backgrounds and the actual set pieces was good. Obviously, all of the facial portraits and the motions were uncanny. I would not have suggested actually showing the old man walking to the car, let alone the weird sort of facial stretching that happened after that. That kind of took away from it. Just have it open, then black, then cut. Because as it is, just looks kind of goofy. Or maybe just have the old man walking out. Don't show his face like that. That's just weird.
And some people even spoke of things as trivial as the deserted motor car found on Ship Street, or certain especially inhuman cries, probably of a stray animal or migratory bird, heard in the night by wakeful citizens. But in this idle village gossip, the terrible old man took no interest at all. He was by nature reserved, and when one is aged and feeble, one's reserve is doubly strong. Besides, so ancient a sea captain must have witnessed scores of things much more stirring in the far-off days of his unremembered youth.
This is a free game, I do. Short and sweet, question. It's enjoyable. I kind of wonder if they'll ever make any other point clicks. Yeah, that screen was definitely public domain. Yeah, I'll have to... okay, that was the porch. But yeah, I'll have to see if they've ever done any other stuff. Let's see here. Incidentally, there is a collector's edition you can pay for, which has a document with unseen and a concept art, full soundtrack, question mark, and the original Game Jam version. I feel I might have seen the Game Jam version at some point in the past. Maybe someone played it. It's the collector's edition is only like $1, so honestly, I might suggest it. Let's see. They had Legend of Hand. Alright, that just sounds goofy. Football game, which is indeed a pixelated point and click, which should be interesting. Sumatra, Fate of Yandi, I have no idea. And The Excavation of Hobbs Burrow, which I actually got from a Humble Bundle and was somewhat interested in. So I'll probably have to play through that at some point. Cloak and the Dagger games. But with that done, let's move on to It Moves. Let me just change the category. Weirdly enough, this thing appears to have been built on Chromium, and OBS doesn't like Chromium. Why doesn't OBS like Chromium? Because hardware acceleration. Because every technical error you run into either comes from the company in charge screwing something up with your system, or hardware acceleration. But it seemed to capture fine, and worse comes to worse, I just captured using a different thing. Let's get started. I feel like there was an older version of this that was made on RPG Maker. Bedtime. Bedtime is supposed to be a happy event for a tired child. For me, it was terrifying. Some children might complain about being put to bed before they finish watching a film or playing their favorite video game. When I was a child, my time was something to truly fear. Somewhere in the back of my mind, it still is. This is me. Hey. It's a wolf. Mr. Teddy. Full of toys and stuff. It was from a movie. Got from my brother. The table. cannot prove that what happened to me was objectively real, but I can swear that what I experienced was genuine horror. A fear which, in my life, I'm glad to say, has never been equaled. I'll relate it to you all now as best I can. Make of it what you will, but I'll be glad to just get it off my chest. Flowers. I'll put these here. Shoes. Not very interesting. Picture of a man standing around. I think it's Dad when he was younger. This is my father. I'll leave it at that. Not gonna pull out too much stuff now. It's bedtime soon. I can't remember exactly when it started. My apprehension towards falling asleep seemed to correspond with me being moved into a room of my own. This is my mother. How'd you like your new room? Soon you'll be sleeping alone for the first time. Mom told me not to touch her stuff, especially this stuff. Nothing too interesting. The box is full of stuff. Ventilation, I think Mom said this is. There's a bunch of clothes in here. The man with a mustache. This is my brother's room. He told me yesterday to keep out of the room that we both had shared until then. I was 8 years old at the time, and until then I had shared a room, quite happily, with my older brother. As is perfectly understandable for a boy 5 years my senior, my brother eventually wished for a room of his own, and as a result, I was given the room at the back of the house. As my brother was given a new bed, I was given the bunk beds which we used to share. While I was upset about sleeping on my own, I was excited at the thought of being able to sleep in the top bunk, which seemed far more adventurous to me. A picture of some mountains. It's locked, stupid bro. Alright, it's bedtime. Already? Yes, adults need their sleep, you see. You'll be sleeping alone for the first time. You excited? Also, I need to give him a more kitty voice, even if I'm giving more of an adult retrospective voice for the narration. Yes, Mom. Alright, I'm turning off the lights. Good night. So who just leaves the lamps on the floor? No offense to the designer, but who just leaves the lamps on the floor? Good night. Chapter 1. Cave. A small water hole. Water's dirty. Probably not a good idea to drink it. Pot and some ragged cloth. I wonder what's cooking. I guess we're not gonna talk about that. Stalking is such a strong word. I prefer to think of it more as intense research on one individual. By the way, your missing sock is under your bed. me. Just kidding. Reminds me of something else from the No Sleep podcast. The postcard series. A cold, unwelcoming breeze comes from the bottom of the stairs. Weird mushroom. Looks poisonous. The purple mushroom. Definitely poisonous. There's a red liquid seeking out from the mushroom hat. Yeah, aren't you a big boy? Yeah, we got ourselves a puzzle. Definitely a bit of a change from the source material. Certainly updated compared to what I recall seeing in the past. What little I can recall seeing in the past. Oh boy, I can pause. Mom, I had a bad dream. I thought that was a fridge, not the front door. But okay. I had a bad dream. Sweetie, what's wrong? I had a bad dream. Oh, that's too bad, sweetie. I'll be up in a minute, and we can eat breakfast together. Alright. Hurry up. Go change your clothes, and I'll be right there. And so another day started. It was a day of little importance to our story. I won't bother you with the details. The one thing I remember is that even though I played with friends like I always did, I somehow still felt lonely. I didn't enter my new room until later that night. It was time to go to sleep again. Chapter 2: Labyrinth. A poster for some concert. It looks old. It looks like a fan. Ventilation, maybe? The air's still stuffy, though. The instructions on how to use a fire extinguisher. Some kind of machinery. Anacore. What's that? Nothing of interest, I think. Wanted poster. When you awaken from a deep sleep to something moving or stirring, it can take a few moments for you to truly understand what is happening. The fog of sleep hangs over your eyes, ears, even when lucid. Something was moving. There was no doubt about that. At first, I wasn't sure what it was. Everything was dark, almost pitch black, but there was enough light creeping in from outside to outline that room. Two thoughts appeared in my mind, almost simultaneously. The first was that my parents were in bed, because the rest of the house lay both in darkness and silence. The second thought turned to the noise. Noise which had obviously woken me. That was it. Bed sheets rustling in the dark and someone breathing. As if some disturbed sleeper was attempting to get all too comfortable in the bottom bunk. I lay there in disbelief, thinking that the noise was either my imagination, or perhaps just my pet cat finding somewhere comfortable to spend the night. It was then that I noticed my door, shut as it had been as I'd fallen asleep. Perhaps my mom had checked in on me and the cat had sneaked into my room then. Yes, that must have been it. I turned to face the wall, closing my eyes and obeying in the hope that I could fall back to sleep. As I moved, a rustling noise from underneath me ceased. I thought that must have disturbed my cat. Quickly, I realized that the visitor in the bottom bunk was much less mundane than my pet trying to sleep and much more sinister. As if alerted to and disgruntled by my presence, the disturbed sleeper began to toss and turn violently, like a child having a tantrum in their bed. I could hear the sheets twist and turn with increasing ferocity. Fear then gripped me, not like the subtle sense of unease I had experienced earlier, but now potent and terrifying. My heart raced as my eyes panicked, scanning the almost impenetrable darkness. I let out a cry. As most young boys do, I instinctively shouted on my mother. I could hear something stir on the other side of the house. But as I began to breathe a sigh of relief that my parents were coming to save me, the bunk bed suddenly started to shake violently as if gripped by an earthquake, scraping against the wall. I could hear the sheets below me thrashing around as if tormented by malice. I did not want to jump down to safety, as I feared the thing in the bottom bunk would reach out and grab me, pulling me into the darkness. So I stayed there, my white knuckles clenching my own blanket like a shroud of protection. The wait seemed like an eternity. What's wrong? Did you have a bad dream? I cried and my mother consoled me. Tears of fear, followed by relief, streamed down my face. Yet, through all the horror and relief, I did not tell her why I was upset. I can't explain it, but this is though whatever had been in that bunk would return if I even so much as spoke of it. Whether that was the truth, I do not know. But as a child, I felt as if that unseen menace remained close, listening. My mother lay in the empty bunk, promising to stay there until morning. I remember the next day wanting to go anywhere, be anywhere but in that suffocating room. Hey, Saigoku. Thanks for popping in. Get to work safe. I hope it goes well. It was a Saturday, and I played outside, quite happily with my friends. Although our house was not large, we were lucky to have a long, sloping garden in the back. We played there often, as much of it was overgrown, and we could hide in the bushes. Climb in the huge sycamore tree which towered above all else, and easily imagine ourselves in the throes of a grand adventure. As fun as it all was, occasionally my eye would turn to that small window in my room. Ordinary, slight, and innocuous. But for me, that thin boundary was a looking glass into a strange, cold pocket of dread. Outside, the lush green surroundings of our garden filled with the smiling faces of my friends. Inside, the feeling of something in that room, watching me play, waiting for the night when I would be alone, eagerly filled with hate. It may sound strange to you, but by the time my parents ushered me back into that room for the night, I said nothing. I didn't protest. I didn't even make an excuse as to why I couldn't sleep there. I still felt that this thing would be enraged if I so much as spoke of it. Another night came. Chapter 3. Factorize. The door is firmly shut. The banner on the long pole is too old and torn to make out details. A huge skull. Some kind of altar. A large fan circulating stuffy air. It's almost like the lights on the runway's airport. Looks like something used to pour out of these. Some kind of machine. Slowly wearing up, slowly wearing down. Yeah, picture of some kind of green landscape. Picture's in too bad shape to make out any details. Everything boarded up so far. And doing better. Creepy mask. Well, the mask is gone. Oh, hello. Well, goodbye. There's a red liquid pouring out. Well, good on you. Well, hello there. It's, funny. Certain words can remain hidden from your mind, no matter how blatant or obvious they are. One word came to me that night, lying in the darkness alone, frightened, however rotten, change in the atmosphere, and a thickening of the air as if something had displaced it. As I heard the first casual twists of the bedsheets below, the first anxious increase of my heartbeat at the realization that something was once again in the bottom bunk. That word which had been sent into exile, filtered up through my consciousness, breaking free of all repercussion, gasping for air, screaming, etching, and carving itself into my mind. Ghost. As this thought came to me, I noticed that my unwelcome visitor had ceased moving. The bedsheets lay calm and dormant. They had been replaced by something far more hideous. A slow, rhythmic, rasping breath heaved and escaped from the thing below. I could imagine its chest rising and falling with each sordid, wheezing, and garbled breath. I shuddered and hoped beyond all hope that it would leave without occurrence. The house lay as it had the previous night, in a thick layer of darkness. Silence prevailed, all but for the perverted breath of my as yet unseen bunkmate. I lay there terrified. I just want this thing to go, to leave me alone. What did it want? Then, something unmistakably chilling transpired. It moved. It moved in a way different from before. When it threw itself around in the bottom bunk, it seemed unrestrained, without purpose, almost animalistic. That thing lying there in the darkness, that thing which seemed intent on terrorizing a young boy, calmly and nonchalantly sat up. Its labored breathing had become louder. Now only a mattress and a few flimsy wooden slats separated my body from the unearthly breath below. I lay there, my eyes filled with tears. The fear which mere words cannot relate to or anyone else coursed through my veins. I would not have believed that this fear could have been heightened, but I was so wrong. I imagined what this thing would look like, sitting there, listening from below my mattress, hoping to catch the slightest hint that I was awake. Imagination then turned to unnerving reality. It began to touch the wooden slats which my mattress sat on. It seemed to caress them carefully, running what I imagined to be fingers and hands across the surface of the wood. Then with great force it prodded angrily between two slats into the mattress. Even through the padding, it felt as though someone had viciously stuck their fingers into my side. I let out an almighty cry, and the wheezing, shaking, and moving thing in the bunk below replied in kind by violently vibrating the bunk as it had done the night before. Small flakes of paint powdered on my bed from the wall as the frame of the bed scraped along it backwards and forwards. Once again, I was bathed in light, and there stood my mother, loving, caring as she always was. With a comforting hug and calming words, which eventually subdued my hysteria. Of course, she asked what was wrong, but I could not say. I dared not say. I simply said one word over and over and over again. Nightmare. This pattern of events continued for weeks, if not months. Night after night, I would awaken to the sound of rustling sheets. Each time, I would scream so as to not provide this abomination of time to heal for me. With each cry, the bed would shake violently, stopping with the arrival of my mother, who would spend the rest of the night in the bottom bunk, seemingly unaware of the sinister force tormenting her son nightly. Along the way, I managed to feign illness a few times and come up with other less than truthful reasons for sleeping in my parents' bed. And more often than not, I would be alone for the first few hours of each night in that place. The room where the light from outside did not sit right. Alone with that thing. With time, you can become desensitized to almost anything, no matter how horrific. I'd come to realize that, for whatever reason, this thing could not harm me when my mother was present. I'm sure the same would have been said for my father, but as loving as he was, waking from sleep was almost impossible for him. Waking me, on the other hand, was no trouble at all, thanks to the nightmares. Chapter 4. Anger Overload. Painted glass depicts some religious man, I guess. Hook hangs from the wall. A piece of meat hangs to dry from it. Earthquake? The painted glass depicts a scene from the Bible. Nope. There's jars with disgusting stuff inside. Another one. This big jar is filled with heads of some sort. It's a big pool, but I'd rather not use it. The spider that lives in this net is nowhere to be seen. Looks like a map. Picture depicts a couple of men standing in front of a car. That was strange. Faded old picture. My greatest fears were realized in the winter. Days grew short, and longer nights merely provide this wretch with more opportunities. It was a difficult time for my family. My grandmother, a wonderfully kind and gentle woman, had deteriorated greatly since the death of my grandfather. My mother was trying her best to keep her in the community as long as possible. However, dementia is a cruel and degenerative illness, robbing a person of their memories one day at a time. Soon she recognized none of us. It became clear that she would need to be moved from her house to a nursing home. Before she could be moved, my grandmother had a particularly difficult few nights, and my mother decided that she would stay with her. As much as I loved my grandmother and felt nothing but anguish at her illness, to this day I feel guilty that my first thoughts were not of her. But what my nightly visitor might do should have become aware of my mother's absence. Her presence being the one thing which I was sure was protecting me from the full horror of this thing's reach. I rushed home from school that day and immediately wrenched the bed sheets and mattress from the lower bunk, removing all the slats and placing an old desk, a chest of drawers, and some chairs which I kept in a cupboard where the bottom bunk used to be. I told my father I was making an office, which he found adorable. I would be damned if I'd give that thing a place to sleep for one more night. As darkness approached, I lay there knowing my mother was not in the house. I did not know what to do. My only impulse was to sneak into her jewelry box and take a small family crucifix which I had seen there before. While my family were not very religious, at that age I still believed in God and hoped that somehow this would protect me. Although fearful and anxious, while gripping the crucifix under my pillow tightly in one hand, sleeping eventually came, and as I drifted off to dream, I hoped that I would awaken in the morning without incident. Unfortunately, that night was the most terrifying of all. Chapter 5: Urban Explorer. It says dwarf. Poster for a play. Bunch of school books. Stacks of notebooks. Piano player, this child is not. The feeling that something's invading your privacy, even without ill will, is still disturbing. Good. You are. The clock has stopped. Even if you don't know why they're here, you hold the greatest amount of fear for them. A bathtub in the middle of the classroom. An old picture of what seems to be a religious man and woman. It's the Triceratops. Stack of comic books. The sound of screams are awful. They're even worse when they're your own. Newspaper article is too aged to read. Locked. The writing desk has some school material on it. Big filing cabinet. There's books that look like they would be hard to read. Looks like there's nothing inside. Pile of mattresses, dirty and worn. Mattress, dirty and worn. This piece of paper here, and it reads knock knock. Lock on the door is broken. I don't think I can get in there. There are various school rules spread here. Oh, there's a hole in the wall where roots have grown. I am completely unsure what to make of this. Plants grow through cracks in the floor. This little machine of some sort. You're awfully quiet nowadays. Is there something wrong, son? Nothing. Are you sure? Is there something wrong with your new room? You lonely without your brother? No. Alright then. I woke gradually. The room was once again dark. As my eyes adjusted, I could gradually make out the windows and the door and the walls. some toys on the shelf, and even to this day I shudder to think of it, where there was no noise. No rustling of sheets, no movement at all. The room felt lifeless. Lifeless, but not empty. The nightly visitor, that unwelcome, wheezing, hate-filled thing which had terrorized me night after night, was not in the bottom bunk. It was in my bed. I opened my mouth to scream, but nothing came out. Utter terror had shaken the very sound from my voice. I lay motionless. I could not scream. I did not want to let it know I was awake. I had not yet seen it. Only feel it. It was obscured under my blanket. I could see its outline, and I could feel its presence, but I dared not look. The weight of it pressed down on top of me, a sensation I will never forget. When I say that hours passed, I do not exaggerate. Laying there, motionless in the darkness, as every bit a scared and frightened young boy. If it had been during the summer months, it would have been light by then. But its grasp of winter is long and unrelenting, and I knew it would be hours before sunrise. A sunrise which I yearned for. I was a timid child by nature. I reached a breaking point. A moment where I could wait no more. I could survive under this intimately deviant abomination no longer. Fear can sometimes wear you out, make you threadbare, a shell of nerves leaving only the slightest trace of you behind. I had to get out of that bed. And then I remembered the crucifix. My hand still lay underneath the pillow, but it was empty. I slowly moved my wrist around to find it, minimizing as best I could the sound and vibrations caused, but it could not be found. I had either knocked it off the top bunk or it. I could not even bear to think of it, been taken from my hand. Without the crucifix, I lost any sense of hope. Even at such a young age, you can be acutely aware of what death is, and intensely frightened of it. I knew I was going to die in that bed if I lay there dormant, passive, doing nothing. I had to leave that room behind. But how? Should I leap from the bed and hope that I make it to the door? What if it's faster than me? Should I slowly slip out that top bunk, hoping to not disturb my uncanny bedfellow? Realizing that it had not stirred when I moved, trying to find the crucifix, I began to have the strangest of thoughts. Chapter 6. The Abyss. Captain Theodore Fielding, September 2nd, 2007. One of my biggest fears is deep water. Ironic when you consider the fact that I'm now working on a mining station thousands of feet underwater in the Mariana Trench. I've always wondered why I was afraid and reached a simple conclusion. The true fear presented here is actually going down beneath the surface into the depths. It is a combination of all of our most common fears. 1. Fear of the dark. When you're at the bottom of a body of water, you can't see anything. It's pitch black. Have you ever tried to swim as far down in the lake as you can? It gets really dark and cold really fast, about 10 feet down. That's nothing compared to the deepest point on the entire crust of the Earth, located at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, the Mariana Trench, which is 38,000 plus feet. If you put Mount Everest at the bottom of the trench, the top of the mountain would still be over a mile below the surface of the ocean. Everything below you is in complete darkness. This definitely plays into our collective fear of the dark. 2. Fear of suffocating. Have you ever gone to the point where you swam down too far in the swimming pool and you seriously considered the fact that you might not make it back to the top before you ran out of breath? If you've ever been roughhousing as a kid with blankets and pillows and you've accidentally got pinned down inside a pillow bag or something, and you get that point where laughing temporarily turns to screaming, you know what a scary concept not being able to breathe is. Even if you have scuba gear with you in that deep, dark abyss, there's a chance a valve could pop out or you could run out of oxygen. You can't see, and you can't really take a deep breath. Could it get worse? Yes. Fear of the unknown. There are over 1 million species of creatures in the ocean, and scientists estimate there are additional 9 million species yet to be discovered. That means we only even know what 11% of the creatures in the ocean are. Most of the beings of the ocean are things mankind has never even seen or heard of. Who knows what could be down there? Think about a time when you were walking in a dimly lit basement trying to find something. All of a sudden, something brushes up against the back of your neck. You become airborne similarly to a frightened cat and instantly turn around and shine the flashlight to see what it was. It's never actually anything scary. But in deep water, it's always something scary. It's dark. You can barely breathe. Something just touched you, and you have no idea where they just went. But there's more to fear, I'm afraid. 4. Fear of flying insects. Imagine that as you're walking along, all the beetles and scorpions crawling along the ground, huge black hairy spiders that are hidden from view in the cracks, slimy worms and sticks that are burrowed beneath the ground, simultaneously started flying anywhere they wanted. That is what the bottom of the sea without water would be like. For strange creatures underwater, there is no up and down. Even the manliest men, even though they appear to be calm, quickly tense up and become filled with a secret fear that a bug might land on their eyeball or fly to their mouth. And that's why men try so hard to kill them. Fortunately, in deep water, you can't see any of the undiscovered, freakishly flying creatures that brush past your body as you grasp at your suffocating throat. 5. Fear of being caught. Imagine that you're running from a bear. You'll be eaten if you're caught, and it doesn't help that bears can run faster sideways than the fastest human can run forward. You're at the bottom of the sea, everything that's around you is built to move in water. If something truly frightening, like a shark or a giant squid caught sight of you, you could turn the other way and flail about all you want, but a monster will catch up with you in a split second. You can't get away from anything. Even if you had the wherewithal to see and breathe, you couldn't run from danger. It'd simply find you and devour you. There are lots of places that I wouldn't want to be, such as trapped in a burning house or alone in the vacuum of space, but in a burning house at least I can see, and in space at least there aren't any creatures that could get me. There are no other places in the universe that combine as many common fears as 7 miles below the surface of the Pacific Ocean. It's because of the combination of all of these fears that I am so horrified by deep water. What if it was asleep? It hadn't so much as breathed since I had woken up. Perhaps it was resting, believing that it finally got me. I was finally in its grasp. Or perhaps it was toying with me after all. I had been doing just that for countless nights. And now with me under it, pinned against my mattress with no mother to protect me, maybe it was holding off, savoring its victory until the last possible moment, like a wild animal savoring its prey. I tried to breathe as shallowly as possible and muster every ounce of courage I could. I reached over, slowly with my right hand, and began to peel the blanket off of me. What I found under those covers almost stopped my heart. I did not see it. As my hand moved the blanket, it pushed against something. Something smooth and cold. Something which felt unmistakably like a gaunt's hand. I held my breath in terror, as I was sure it must now have known that I was awake. Nothing. It did not stir. It felt dead. After a few moments, I placed my hand carefully further down the blanket, felt a thin, poorly formed forearm. My confidence and almost twisted sense of curiosity grew as I moved down further to a disproportionately larger bicep muscle. The arm was outstretched, lying across my chest with the hand resting on my left shoulder, as if it had grabbed me in my sleep. I realized that I would have to move this cadaverous appendage if I even so much as hoped to escape its grasp. For some reason, the feeling of torn, ragged clothing on the shoulder of this nighttime invader stopped me in my tracks. Fear once again swelled in my stomach and in my chest as I recoiled my hand in disgust at the touch of straggled, oily hair. I could not bring myself to touch its face, although I wonder to this very day what it will have felt like. Dear God, it moved. Chapter 7. Ostia. Oh my god, no. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. Crossroads in life, what does one do? Stand at the crossroads if you will, but if you will not choose, I'll move on without you. And having once chosen, never to seek to return to the crossroads of that decision. Or even if one chooses wrongly, the choice cannot be unmade. shoulder and across my body strengthened. No tears came, but God, I wanted to cry. As its hand and arm slowly coiled around me, my left leg brushed along the cool wall which the bed lay against. Of all that had happened to me in that room, this was the strangest. I realized that this clutching, rancid thing which drew great delight from violating a young boy's bed was not entirely on top of me. It was sticking out from the wall, like a spider striking from its lair. Suddenly, its grip moved from a slow tightening to a sudden squeeze. It pulled and clawed at my clothes as if frightened that the opportunity would soon pass. I fought against it, but its emaciated arm was too strong for me. Its head rose up, writhing and contorting under the blanket. I now realized where it was taking me. Into the wall. I fought for my dear life. I cried, and suddenly my voice returned to me. Yelling, screaming, but no one came. And I realized why I was so eager to suddenly strike. Why this thing had to have me now. My window. That window which seemed to represent so much malice from outside. Streaked hope. The first rays of sunshine. I struggled further, knowing that if I could just hold on, it would soon be gone. As I fought for my life, the unearthly parasite shifted, slowly pulling itself up my chest. Its head now poking out up under blanket, wheezing, coughing, grasping. I do not remember its features. I simply remember its breath against my face. Cold as ice. As the sun broke over the horizon, that dark place, that suffocating room of contempt was washed, bathed in sunlight. I passed out as its scrawny fingers encircled my neck, squeezing the very life from me. I woke to my father, offering to make me some breakfast. A wonderful sight indeed. I had survived the most horrible experience of my life until then, and now. I moved the bed away from the wall, leaving behind the furniture I had believed would stop that thing from taking a bed. Little did I think that it would try to take mine and me. Weeks passed without incident, yet on one cold, frost-bitten night, I woke to the sound of the furniture where the bunk beds used to be, vibrating violently. I lay there, sure I could hear a distant wheezing coming from deep within the wall, finally fading into the distance. The following year, I was given a larger room on the other side of the house, and my parents took that room as their bedroom. They said they didn't need a large room, just one big enough for a bed and a few things. They lasted 10 days. We moved on the 11th. Well, that was an experience. It's interesting that they incorporate the entire story, although I'm not sure how I felt about it breaking up the way it did for that final section. Nightmares were certainly interesting, if peculiar. I know that Gray might have been interested in the story, but I certainly know he would not have been great with the nightmare sequences. Yeah, certainly fun to read through one of those. And obviously, there wasn't just one story that was made. It was basically an entire book of stories. I would highly suggest reading through the original tale yourself, as well as looking into the author. And of course, I always sing the praises of the No Sleep podcast whenever it comes up, however rare. Looks like I was right in regards to the fact that this was made for the No Sleep podcast. The game is free, so obviously you could share it with friends, or suggest they play it themselves, or play it yourself. I certainly have one friend who hates horror games, who I'm sorely tempted to share with just because it's free. Oddly enough, despite being free, it's also getting one or two downvotes just because it's kind of short, tedious, but well, this is kind of a step up from a light novel, and the nightmares are all very unique and interesting. As far as I can tell, this is the only thing that the developer has made. But as for the quote-unquote publisher, Kodama Games, they also worked on something called Framed Wings, which is a quote-unquote indie action-adventure RPG inspired by a variety of games which focus their attention on combat, exploration, and puzzle solving. Which is definitely different, but it's $4, so maybe I'll look into it sometime later. It's a shame they've only made those things, though. Obviously, that came out in 2016. It Moves got pushed out in 2019, so who knows, maybe we'll see some more of them later. But for now, I sorely need to use the restroom. So, before we move on to our final three of the evening, I will be doing a 3-minute break, and then we'll get on to the Deep Sleep trilogy, eh? Let me just pull up more Brandon Boone music, and I'll step away, just since I'm gonna be gone for a few minutes. I'm back. Sorry for the additional wait. Aside from just being stuck in a restroom, also decided to whip up some tea with milk and honey. Firstly, because I am down to the last few sips of my bottle of water. There it goes. And secondly, to help soothe my throat a bit after all that reading. Now then, if nothing else, let's go ahead. Get old music. Hang it on. And a Deep Sleep Trilogy. Games from way back in the day. No, don't worry, I'm using headphones. We have a deep sleep, deeper sleep, and the deepest sleep. And much like Bioshock, there's always a lighthouse. Let me just turn the sound down. That should be fine for now. Wait, why do each of these have their own options? Like, it's not a bad thing, it's just kind of weird. Excuse me. 2012, you can see here. That is more than a decade ago. Granted, I swear I remember it being older than that. Although, obviously, the trilogy got released on in 2019. Yeah, actually, it did get put out in 2012. Okay. Still, more than a decade ago. But, moving on. If you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you. Friedrich Nietzsche. Key. I've just woken up. A cube with a keyhole. Suffice to say, perhaps we have not woken up. At least we won't have to worry about, at least we won't have to worry about opening the door. Big cracks in this wall. Smells really bad from there. It's dead. The flashlight has their batteries. It's cold outside. Beware the night folk. I'm sure this note gets to you somehow. At this point, you should know all of this is not real. I hope the inner awakening went well and you have a full, lucid control over the dream. Sincerely, yourself. Lucid and full control are strong terms currently. Yeah, won't budge. Piece of old cloth. My lucky piece of coal. Well, someone's not having a good time in there. It's a lever of some sort. Soaking wet piece of old cloth. It's too dark to see, I think. Unfortunately, dream logic will not bring the plant back alive. Fortunately, I can't use any of these to break that down. Thank you for your contribution, my friend. I'm not really sure how this will aid me at this time, but thank you for your contribution. Well, it didn't say need a wheel, just need a lever. Mrs. Levitt, you in there? Small key. Not that small key. Fortunately, whatever's in there is long gone. And I cannot retrieve that. Batteries. Oh, I'm trying to. Old scale. golden statue of Oz. Look, buddy, I tried to get your arm back. Exactly, reach there. How do I back? There we go. A hook. My daughter went to sleep and she never woke up. My son's personality's completely changed overnight. Mayor's wife possessed? Nobody even knew when it started. One thing for sure. She's not the same person our mayor married 7 years ago. A man kills his family after waking up from a coma. You're next. It's time to pay a price for playing with things you don't comprehend. Well, that's not good. Little Cody is lost without his plushy tiger. Aw. It's old and squeaky. Guess we'll have to find a plushy tiger to give to little Cody. Alright, so now we have a hook, a statue, a lucky piece of coal. A boy with big cracks in the wall. Unfortunately, none of them I can take advantage of. Why did you make me do this? This hurts my eyes so much. Good morning, Gray. There is my bun. There is my good boy. Good morning. Good morning. There. 2659. 2659. And, yes. Today, since Lily was sleepy, now busy, and since you need to get your energy back, I chose to play through a medley of horror games that I had been meaning to get through. The first was The Old Man, which you would probably have some interest in and would be mostly fine with, which was a very brief point-and-click adventure game we had talked about before. The second was sort of a almost hard. It was originally an RPG Maker. It was based on a story that had ended up in this Let's Say podcast called It Moves, based on the story of Bedtime. You might be fine if you just close your eyes and don't watch anything that happens, leastwise because a lot of it is breathing or walking around. And then this would be the first of the Deep Sleep trilogy, a series of point-and-click pixel horror games that were originally put out on Flash. Obviously, you are free to join the voice chat if you wish for both of us to provide each other emotional support. I will protect Bun. You'll be there for me to hold and hug. 2659? 2659. I remembered! Why do I have to get up? Oh, I remember this. Okay, maybe you can join me after I go through this process. Handy trusty pickaxe. Yep, runtime. I'm not touching that. Have fun locked in there. Okay, pickaxe time. Set him up. There we go. A net. Creepy panic. Still doing okay, buddy? Yeah, okay. Thanks for your help. Okay, need to figure out what to do with a piece of coal, wet cloth, flashlight, golden statue, a hook, a pickaxe, and a net. I am confused. Can I get up there with a hook? Can I get up there with a net? Can I combine the hook and a net? A net with a hook. There we go.
Wake up. You have to wake up.
Looks somehow familiar.
You have to wake up. You have to
A golden key.
I won't.
A shiny gem. You know what? I'm just gonna leave that speaker going. Maybe it'll help whoever else encounters this stream.
Wake up. You have to wake up. You have to escape.
Relatable. Yep, back up we go. Away you go. Scatter with the power of the light. And then, just like that, I woke up. It's just that easy. The nightmare was over. Life had been changed forever. Was it all just a dream? Or were these creatures real? I have to know. I just have to know the truth. Can't stop thinking about them. I have to go back. Back to the deep sleep. But yeah, suffice to say, these are not terribly long, although like the, much like the Bad Dream games, they do gradually extend themselves. More so as the story builds itself. And we move from deep sleep to, well, deeper sleep. I'm not here to judge your name, but that's the best you come out of. It's like if the Bad Dream series, the second game was Badder Dream. I've always wanted to experience a lucid dream. A dream in which you're awake. A dream in which you can be anyone and do anything. But something went wrong, and I ended up having a terrible nightmare, and I just realized I forgot to change the game on Twitch. And annoyingly, there is no Deep Sleep Trilogy on Twitch, but there is one for each game in the series, so I'm going to have to update this thing at least one more time. Before I woke up, I encountered monsters that wanted to hurt me. I don't think they were part of my dream. It felt like they came from the outside, from the depths. The nightmare didn't fade away like I thought it would. I couldn't stop thinking about it. What if it was real? I became obsessed with it. I don't know why. Maybe I just want to prove myself wrong? So, I went to a local library to see if there were any past records of dreams similar to mine. Cold night outside. Psychology books, more books about human psyche. Nietzsche quotes poorly translated. Nothing interesting here. Nothing about lucid dreaming. Psychology of dogs? Yeah. But a strange bookcase to have next to the entrance exit of a library. Piece of paper. As long as you don't know you're dreaming, you're safe. Ah, damn you, whoever left that piece of paper. A dusty old book. All pages blank. A novel by someone called Eldar. Or Eldak. Is that a reference? Physics, thermodynamics. Is Eldak anyone relevant? Did they write something having to do with deep sleep? Are they another programmer? Who is Eldak? A book is missing here, which is clearly your takeaway to the fact that that wall did disintegrate, the exit is gone, and there's now a bookshelf. This painting looks familiar. Batteries. Another piece of paper. Have existence since human race. It's locked. It's like an elevator. No power. Nope. Well, they follow me, whatever it is. Ah, cripes. The room key. It's locked. Handle is stuck, and I can't reach that. Dart. A poster. It's also locked. Well, this wasn't down here before. Locked from another side. What was that music stick? You again. Why have you returned? This place is dangerous. You again. Have we met? Not in person. Our last time I left you a recorded message, which led you to the lighthouse. You shouldn't have come back here. Who are you? My name's Unport. I'm a traveler like you. You're a real sleeping human? Yes, as crazy as it sounds, I'm as real as you are. So this is not only my dream. Dreams are like personal pockets, but only to a certain level. At this depth, it's one big world for everyone, much like reality. And what are you doing here? Currently, I'm hiding. Your actions have drawn their attention. Can't you wake up? Maybe I can, but I just don't want to. Maybe whatever left I had out there is even worse than this. It's not your business. Why would anyone want to be here? Well, you're here, aren't you? You had your chance to escape, and you returned. This place lures you. That consumes you. Like a swamp. This depth? One big world? Think of it as a river that joins with another river, and so on. At some point, they all fall into the ocean. Are there any other travelers here? This realm is huge. You can find travelers from time to time. For example, have you met Felicity? She lives in the attic. Don't go there. She's dangerous. Why is Felicity dangerous? Because she's crazy. That's why. She's been here for too long. You can wake up and she just lost it. Watch out for her. How long has she been here? Years. She's lost both her mind and humanity. How long have you been here? It's none of your business. I'm not crazy if that's what you suggest. I had to know if this was real. Well, now you know, but they won't let you reach the lighthouse this time. Can you help me? No. I risked my life for you once. This time you're on your own. Stay hidden. If they sense you, if they find you, they don't know how to wake up. Of course you don't know. People spend years preparing for this, learning, practicing. I had no idea about all this. So you jumped into a pool that's too deep without even checking. Have you learned to swim? Now leaving before they find us. I'll go if you help me. Once you've killed one of them, they will hunt you. Probably already blocked all the ways out. That means you can only go deeper. It's deeper? How? And why? I guess they might not look for you there. Sometimes you have to bounce out the bottom to reach the surface. And what about when I get deeper? I don't know. I've never been deeper than I am now. Hopefully you find something to bounce on. I like to kill one of them with light. And that's exactly why you should go away. I don't want to be anywhere near you when they get you. Thank you. You're welcome. Now, if you don't have any more questions, please leave as promised. I'd like to ask more about them, but I'll take what I can get. First encountered this in the early 80s, but... Okay, but why were your eyes glowing like that? Lucid dreaming. Well, that's a useful scrap. The hell was that? 0274. Ah, it's different because, of course. Yeah, pointer. Sometimes happens during comas. 0274. 0274. Barrett. Was it 0249? I thought it was 0249. Did I put in 0249? I put in 20479. What the hell was it? 0274. I combined it with the last one. 0274. 0274. There we go. And of course it's dark again. By possessing the bodies. Well, how kind of them to leave the door open this time. The handle is stuck. Well, that looks shiny. Old toys. The phone. The line is dead. An umbrella. Ah, plushy tiger. Okay. Barely see my reflection. A needle. Well, I don't think I can do anything to help with the handle. Tommy, Toby, Danny, Timmy, Cody, Willie. I think it was Tommy. Or it was Timmy. No, Danny, Toby, Tommy, Timmy, Cody. No, it was Cody. There you go, Cody. Hey, Timmy. Hope you're doing good. Hope Thomas' stream went well. Thanks for popping in. Handle is always stuck. There we go. Well, that's dark. That's even darker. Pile of stones. Fountain. Looks like I can't mess with those for a while. I also have 5 more notes to find. Bag of hold. 5 kilograms. Looks like I need to find some thread. Small mound of ground. It's fun to say, but not terribly useful. There's a key in the pot. There always is a key in the pot. Seems to go deep. Three more scraps of paper left. Hello there, Scarecrow. Thank you for your thread. Do we need that small mound on the ground? Yes. Put ground in the back. And the handle is stuck. So we got handles, we just need to find a wrench or something. But there we go. And another note. Only one left now. Wish I could close that. The wrench broke. But water's flowing in the pipes. An old-looking fountain, which is now actually functional. Why are we walking through the water? Water powers the medley. Well, now theoretically boat is having a bad time. But now theoretically the elevator should be working. We have one, and two. Aha! Held by some screws. Okay, so let's go to 2, the only area we haven't been to. Ah, great, it's dark. Door's closing. I'm trapped. Great. Metal plate is held by screws. Oh dear. Okay, I just know something is going to happen when I grab the screws, so I'm going to look around first in case there's a note. Oh yeah. Found the angry girl who's been here too long. Thank you, goodbye. Have a good night. Crazy ass Sadako. A long rope. Well, I guess now we can get into the well. Time to drink more tea. I'm gonna talk to this guy again. Just because we didn't actually technically ask what they was. Where'd they? Oh, thank you. The shadow people. We shouldn't talk about them. Take the scrap of paper. It's just allowed to matter. Thank you. The librarian. Collect all the notes. I first encountered this phenomenon in the early 80s, but it would seem they have existed since the dawn of the human race. Commonly known as the night folk or shadow people, they live in the realm of dreams, but desperately want to get to our realm by possessing vulnerable, unoccupied bodies. As long as you don't know you're dreaming, you're safe. They attack when they sense a mind detached from its body, which sometimes happens during comas, but much more often during OOBES, lucid dreaming. Okay, what pray tell is OOBES to Google? Out of body experience. Okay, while I'm using Google, I'm gonna run to the library real quick just to see if that one book was in any way relevant to anything. L back. I feel it can't be referring to the technology. Ah, I see. This is a reference to one of the games I played is a reference to a short text-based flash game created in 2013 by Scribalder, who made the series. It is called A Small Talk at the Back of Beyond. You awake in a darkened room, lit only by a computer console, through which an AI called LDAC contacts you and informs you that you are in an underground bunker after the end due to a nuclear war that left the world outside uninhabitable. And you go from there. Anyways, we got a rope and we got a well to get into. The clown appears to be gone. This is concerning. I think there'll be no going back. Well, we don't have anywhere else to go right now. We have to go deeper. Ah. I think they may have realized we were going to go deeper. To be continued. Gosh darn it, you made a cliffhanger. A young boy wakes up from a 3-month coma. A 9-year-old boy from a local orphanage who's been in a coma since February woke up yesterday in good health. Doctors previously didn't give him much chance of ever regaining consciousness. Boy's first words after opening eyes were, "My tiger has found me." Aw. I'm glad I gave him his tiger back. See you at the final battle. I do actually believe that the Script Welder games have something of a connected universe to an extent. There is the No Escape or Don't Escape series, or what it's called, which is an inverse of the escape room games where you do not want to get out of the room, for whatever reason. Right, before we get to the deepest sleep, I'm again going to run a 3-minute ad break, and I'm going to use the restroom. See y'all in a bit. Ready? Okay, let's update the game one final time. The deepest sleep. I woke up in the middle of the night. I couldn't move or say anything. And there was someone in my room. A cold night outside. My bed. I can't move. Is someone there? Well, I can certainly say I don't recall there being a jump scare at the start of things, but I don't quite remember clicking on that thing a number of times. That was silly. Poor Gray if he happened to be looking at that moment. A sealed vase. The shelf is empty. At least we have the flashlight. This is not one I've played before, so I have no idea. A red rope coming from the ceiling. A gem is stuck in the statue's mouth. Cans. Smells like paint. It's moldy and stinky. The bottom feeders. They live at the bottom layer of the realm of dreams, feeding upon everything that ends up there. Even the shadow people fear them. They're blind, but can sense vibrations and movement. By staying perfectly still, you should be. Well, that's mildly concerning. Hello, Bert. Our name is Bert. I'm sure this note gets you somehow. So you followed this stupid traveler, even though you knew what's gonna happen. You're at the bottom depth now. There's nothing beneath you. It's important that you avoid the bottom feeders. They sense motion, so don't make any sudden moves near them. Also, don't go to the dark church. The darkness there will suffocate you. Find a ladder. It should take you back to the surface. Sincerely, yourself. A reel with no handle. A stone skull. Well, statue, I'm afraid I'm going to need that gem. I picked up the gem. A shiny gem. Delightful. Fits perfectly in the eye hole. Guess I need to get one more gem. There we go. Not quite a key, but close enough. It's perfectly in the eye hole. It's either very suffocatingly dark, or there are a lot of bugs. Oh, I see. Yeah, that might be a problem. Oh, I'm definitely going to end up chased for this mess, aren't I? But I'm happy not to be chased. This is fine. This is fine. And we're out. Oh, so I can close that. Statue looks a little upset. I'm concerned by the fact that I can close this. Oh, it's damp. Oh yeah, that'll be a problem. Bars won't move, but there is red rope. Hanged with a red rope. Sidriel plexus core. Sewer gate lock system. Real door bars. This is part of your method? You designed this intentionally? I know this is meant to be dream logic, but this is just weird. At least we don't have to worry about a creepy clown. Put the stool under the door. Goes up again. Down we go. Hello, friend. I cannot get you off of it, so... Oh boy. No sudden moves. No way. This thing is timed? Why would you put it? Why would you make it timed? Damn you. Damn you. Phew. That is certainly a note of some variety. Cabinets empty. Upper drawer, middle drawer, and bottom drawers are empty. Music box. Golden key. No. Well, that was briefest bit of respite. An empty square slot. A hatch. Can't reach that. Something's blocking that. Nope, can't do that. Is that the library? Hey, an empty grease can. I see you, square. See you, weird, suspicious square. A fat, oily mushroom. First, that's gonna be oil out of it. Filled again with oil. That's don't have it. A wind-up key. Stone tablets. Can't reach it. Oh, I guess I've got to remake that thing. What in heaven's name? Oh, hello there, friend. How are you doing? Thank you. Hello and goodbye. Fortunately, the paper is still there. That would be very painful. Well, there's no unwinding the key. Despite how weirdly evil within that room suddenly got. So much rust. Dead stuck. Avoid the lock. Ah, fuck you. Pile of plates. Farewell. Now, how to get to you? I feel you could very much crawl into there. Seems like a lid of some sort. Gears that are spinning fast. Ah, there goes my screwdriver, but at least I should be able to go into that room now. A cinnamon toast. Oh boy, cinnamon toast. A suspicious looking dried herb. There's some stinky liquid inside. Stove seems to be broken. Smells bad from there. A ladder. Okay, go. Is that me? Now I remember. They've got me. All this time I've been one of them. Well, at least I've got a flashlight. I'm a monster. One of them. Oh, someone's shining their flashlight in here. There he was. A traveler, just like me before. The moment he saw me, he started running. Take it out of here. A chance to finally wake up. No. I hesitated, and I let that man go. This vicious cycle cannot continue. I will remain here. Forever. Here. In the deepest sleep. An unfortunate ending for our dear protagonist. Well, at least someone lives on in his body. And he's technically alive. The cycle stops with us. An intriguing game series. But that's not quite the end of it. Aside from the fact that obviously there's an additional ending, which I will not be getting during the stream. As I mentioned prior, this does tie into some of the other games that they've had. But aside from that, there's actually a fourth game. That game is that fourth game is a Deep Sleep Labyrinth of the Forsaken. Apparently it's meant to be something like a point and click, but apparently it's also sort of like a roguelike. I don't know whether or not it's released yet. I'll have to look into it. It's also a strange concept. But certainly something I'll have to look into, and now they've gone through the trilogy, something I will stream. Obviously, I would suggest that all of you look into any of the games by Scriptwell. They are very interesting and have some very lovely pixel art. All three of them done. You can actually get the Deep Sleep Trilogy for $5, as well as the Don't Escape Trilogy for $5. And whatever Don't Escape 4 Days to Survive is for $15. I think most of them you can technically just play for free, so long as you know something that plays Flash. I can't see what the price of a bundle is, but there is a Script Welder collection. That said, there are games that Script Welder has made, which you'll have to find online, which are not part of the collection, such as the talk at the end of Forever, whatever that was. Looks like there is information about Labyrinth of the Forsaken, as well as some art up. It does have a Steam page, but the planned release date is yet to be announced, so definitely something to keep an eye out on. I'll be adding it to my wish list and following it. But that would be all the games we are playing tonight. An interesting and strange batch, especially since Temmie popped in towards the end of things. I might suggest you maybe watch the VOD, preferably here, but also on YouTube in case you don't watch it before Twitch removes it. The games that we had played were The Terrible Old Man, which was based on a short Lovecraft story. It Moves, which was based on a story that ended up in a No Sleep podcast, and of course, the Deep Sleep trilogy. I thank all y'all who popped in and out. Gray, Lily, who subscribed, Teamy, and hopefully all y'all have a good evening. I'll see y'all around this Friday. Night. That bet's for Teamy. That bet's for all.